I would now like to welcome International Conservation Caucus Co-Chair, Representative Betty McCollum.
Well, good evening, and it's nice to see both of my former colleagues again. You've been doing a great job. I'd also like to extend my appreciation to David Barron, John Gant, and to all of the International Conservation Caucus Foundation staff. Let's give them a round of applause. It's been just a wonderful evening. And of course, thank you to our many corporate and NGO partners who make the foundation a force for positive change here in Washington and also around the world. As co-chair of the International Conservation Caucus, I am truly delighted to be here tonight on behalf of my colleagues in Congress who celebrate the exceptional global work of the foundation. The partnerships that the ICCF has forged all over the world, from parliamentarians to corporate executives, village leaders, and park superintendents, have all helped to advance conservation as a global priority. And international conservation is important for so many reasons. It benefits the economies of local communities, which helps them to better manage their land, their resources, which then improves human health because they're able to provide better nutrition as farmers for their families. The international conservation has a direct impact on global security through reducing conflicts over food, water, and other limited resources. And that's why it's so critical that the United States of America is a key partner in supporting international conservation. We help other countries to develop their own park systems through the work of the international programs. Here are a few examples. National Park Service, U.S. Forest Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and USAID. They build relationships with government officials around the globe, working together to help them develop their own conservation laws and regulations to protect their natural resources. The U.S. also advances conservation causes by passing federal legislation and supporting global efforts, many of which you heard my colleagues talk about tonight. But another example that I'm incredibly proud of was last summer, because of the work of the ICCF, the Global Food Security Act finally became law. This was a bipartisan bill, which I was happy to co-sponsor along with my Republican colleague, Chris Smith. But when I got in trouble a couple of times with getting it moving, it was co-chair Ed Royce was my go-to person. So let's thank everybody for all your help on this. Now, as we move into a new Congress and a new administration, it is vitally important that we continue to prioritize and support the conservation work of our partners, both here, at home, and abroad. So just take a minute now to watch a fascinating short film, and it's about one such effort. It's a restoration project for a very special place, Gorongosa.
Gorongosa National Park, Mozambique. Created in 1960, it was considered one of the world's greatest national parks. 1 million acres full of Africa's iconic animals. But years of conflict and illegal hunting took a heavy toll. By 2008, Gorongosa seemed like an empty Eden. That same year, the Government of Mozambique teamed up with the Carr Foundation to create the Gorongosa Restoration Project. And today, the park is thriving again, home to over 70,000 large animals. But the Gorongosa Restoration Project isn't just about wildlife. Equally, it's about human development in the communities around the park. In 2015, Gorongosa provided health services to over 100,000 people. 4,000 families participated in the park's agriculture programs. And every year, thousands of local school children visit Gorongosa to learn about their wild neighbours. These young people are the future guardians of Gorongosa, so to help them get the knowledge they'll need, the park provides training to the next generation of conservationists and scientists. By doing wildlife conservation alongside large-scale human development, the Gorongosa team is showing the world an inspiring example of what a national park can be.
Tonight, awardees truly embody the good stewardship of our global natural resources. In his role as park warden of Gorongosa National Park, Mr. Mutemba has helped restore and protect unique wilderness, diverse wildlife, while engaging local communities in the management of their natural resources and building the benefits of sustainable tourism. And Mr. Carr is the president of Gorongosa Restoration Project in Mozambique. Co-management agreement that this project established has helped restore the park, including reintroducing buffaloes, wildebeests, and other species to the ecosystem, and planting more than 1 million trees in the park's rainforest. On behalf of the International Conservation Caucus Foundation and the global conservation community, I am truly delighted to present them both with ICCF's Good Steward Award. So let us give a round of applause to Greg Carr and Mateus Mutemba with the ICCF's Good Steward Award on behalf of their outstanding conservation work on Mozambique's Gorongosa National Park. Gentlemen?
Betty, why don't you get the medals? We'll have two on either side.
Well, my job here tonight is to introduce this gentleman, and he is a leader in his nation of Mozambique. He's the warden of Gorongosa National Park, the flagship of the country, and he and his team are showing the world that a national park can do two things. It can protect wildlife and biodiversity, and at the same time, it can help the human beings that live next to that park. And doing both of those missions is essential for the continent of Africa. So Mozambique is a model for the continent, and Gorongosa has an amazing, charismatic warden, and his name is Mateus Mutemba.
Thank you, Greg, for this introduction. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, DRO, it is an honor to accept this recognition tonight on behalf of my country, my colleagues, and our flagship national park. I would like to start my address acknowledging the presence in this room of a dignitary of my country who is also a special friend to Gorongosa, the Honorable Ambassador of Mozambique to the United States of America, Carlos dos Santos. Thank you, Ambassador. The involvement of the Carr Foundation in Mozambique began with a meeting he, the ambassador, had with Greg Carr in New York in the late 90s, followed by an introduction of Greg Carr to the then president of the country, Joaquim Chissano. Carlos dos Santos was then our ambassador to the United Nations. So, Ambassador, we thank you for all your support throughout these years, and we share this recognition with you. Secondly, I want to quickly highlight 5 reasons that we Mozambicans are proud of Gorongosa. The first, Our government is in a public and private partnership with the U.S. nonprofit Carr Foundation to manage the park. This innovative model to protect endangered biodiversity is being closely watched around the world and is gradually being replicated within our national park system. Second, we have succeeded in restoring and protecting depleted wildlife to Gorongosa. The number of large animals such as elephants, lions, buffalo, and more than a dozen species of antelopes have increased tenfold in the past 10 years, even as other parts of Africa sadly see a decline in their megafauna. Third, Gorongosa is a model for integrating human development with conservation. In fact, the Park Human Development Team is the largest department. Last year alone, we provided healthcare services to more than 100,000 people, supported 4,000 small family farmers, trained and funded 150 small entrepreneurs, started girls' clubs in 20 primary schools, and supported 500 local people with employment inside the park. Employment and economic growth leads to regional political stability, and our project interventions play a key role in this. Fourth, we have one of the top biological laboratories in the world that is located inside of a national park, the E.O. Wilson Lab, named after the famous American biologist and Harvard professor Edward Osborne Wilson, who has helped us. This lab conducts leading-edge biological research and trains young Mozambicans to be scientists. By the way, E.O. Wilson wrote a book about the park and called it Gorongosa, A Window on Eternity. Fifth, and finally, we are proud of our friends. Gorongosa is a wonderful example of collaboration at work. USAID has helped us from day one, both financially and with technical support. The Global Environment Facility has helped us for about a decade now. ICCF is a close ally. National Geographic has been recording and broadcasting worldwide the wonders of Gorongosa over the years. Harvard, Princeton, Berkeley, Boise State University, and indeed, US tourists all help us. Allow me to conclude my remarks saying a few words on the pivotal role my very good friend Greg Carr, please come over, Greg, so people can see you. Yeah. So I'd like to say a few words about the role that this gentleman plays in this public-private partnership. His passion, deep commitment to Gorongosa, the permanent search for sustainability of the park through enterprise creation and human development, and substantive investment in his time, finances, and management skills, and yet humbleness, are unique and very inspiring to all of us in Gorongosa and Mozambique at large. Thank you, Greg, for this legacy and for what you do to my country.
Thank you. Thank you, Mateus.
The United States of America is a true friend to Mozambique, and Gorongosa cements that friendship. I would like to thank you all for listening to me. Thank you.
We now have a special presentation, a true work of art. Mr. George O'Neill has a presentation award that he would like to present. Ladies and gentlemen.